Hey, how are you?
Hey, Dan. Good to see you.
Same here, Johan.
Glad you could make it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Awesome, awesome. Right. Let's set up. You can hear me, huh?
Yes.
Good enough. Okay, cool. Well, to start things off, um, whilst sort of looking a little bit into your history, I've discovered that you've been so prolific, much more than I've expected, actually. Um, I know the old Hades albums, obviously, and here and there I've heard of, you know, Vessel of Light, I think it was. And it's only through the Talk Louder podcast with Jason McMaster that I've actually heard of Cassius King.
Oh, really? Okay,
Only
cool.
then, only then looking into everything you've done, it's quite amazing. You've really been very active.
Yeah, so you've heard Patriarchs in Black and Vessel of
Yes.
Light?
Yes, yes, yes. I gave that a
Okay,
spin
cool.
the last couple of days, and also the Cassius King stuff. Love the name.
Cool.
I didn't get it at first,
Thank you.
probably because I pronounce it the British way, or the Cambridge way.
Yeah,
But it's that's
right.
awesome. Also love the title. Reach for
How
the.
old are you?
I'm
How old are you, Johan?
I'm 48.
Okay, so you're not familiar with nonfiction? That was my band after Hades.
I am familiar with the name. I have not heard many albums. I
Right.
must no.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
nonfiction in the know off that record. We toured Europe with Overkill and Sabotage in 1993.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I missed out on all of that because back then I was living in Africa, so I had no
Wow.
access to shows or whatever. And to
What part of Africa?
Namibia, just north of Southern Africa, South Africa.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So we were basically like East Germany, very
Yeah. Yeah.
censored and limited as to music. So we had to rely on people flying to Europe, bringing back albums, and then it copy, copy, copy. So we weren't privileged,
Yeah.
but we learned to cherish things. So,
Okay.
and a little interesting story there is when just before the interview, I had to think about it. Is a certain sampler called Stars on Thrash made it to our shores, which is the very first time I heard Hades opinionate. And
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, it was only years later that we got hold of the complete albums. That was like really. But yeah, just to sort of so your albums
Yeah.
made it to African shores.
Cool. Very cool.
So great. Tell us, Dan, what's been cooking? I mean, I just checked Cassius King. You brought out, was it 21 and 22? 21 was Field Trip.
Yes. Correct. Field Trip came out last year on Nomad Eel Records, California label, and this year, Dread the Dawn came out on MDD Records in Germany and Nomad Eel Records in California. And MDD Records also released the Patriarchs in Black album with Johnny Kelly on drums, Reach for the Scars, and that features Carla Gell, Corrosion of Conformity Blind, Dewey Bragg from Kill Devil Hill on vocals,
That
Jimmy
that would
Nico,
that was gonna be a
yeah.
question of mine. Who is does the
Okay.
vocals there? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's also there's a song by Rob from Blackwater Rising, great band out of Brooklyn. Rob sings the song and he'll sing on our second record as well. But Carl Legel sang the first single, Demon of Regret, which featured my buddy Dave Niebuhr from Dog Eat Dog, and Johnny's buddy Eric played bass on about half the album. Eric was in a Pale Horse Named Death, Eric J. Morgan. So a bunch of different people on bass and vocals, and I played all the guitars, and Johnny Kelly played all the drums.
Amazing. So what I've checked is you've got a really cool pool of musicians that you can sort of pull in as you see fit for, I gather, for who fits what project.
Yeah, I mean, Jason McMaster is the singer for Cassius King
Cassius
from
King,
now
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
When we started Cassius King, it was me, Jimmy Shulman, and Ron Lipnicki, and we'd have different singers. We did cover songs mostly. We did do a great version of The Chase is Better Than the Catch by Motorhead with
Oh,
John.
my favorite Motorhead song.
That there's only a video for that. You can't find it anywhere. Oh, you're not going to smoke. Oh God, that's smoke. That's smoke, man. John Costco sings Chases better than the. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's just like, I'm all about having fun with music, and it's fun for me to work with different people. I work with Nathan Opposition and Vessel of Light. Nathan's the singer for Ancient Wisdom. And he really helped me resurrect my career, because the last album I did, maybe you don't know about it, with Bobby Blitz, called The Cursed Room Full of Sinners in 2007. We did a phenomenal record together called The Cursed Room Full of Sinners. What's that?
I have a strange recollection. Didn't you do a song with Bobby for Vessel?
No, he sang a song on my solo album, and then we did the Cursed album together in 2007.
Okay, then I've got something mixed up. Yeah.
Mike Christie from Nonfiction played drums for the Cursed. And then I didn't play any music for like 10 years until I met or really discovered Nathan Opposition while he was living in Austin, and he had just moved back to Cleveland with his brother. And we did 4 Vessel of Light albums in like 3 years.
Yeah, Vessel of Light. We've got Cassius King. We've got Patriarchs in Black. You've got your solo material, which goes under Dan Lorenzo. Any plans? I have to ask the question. Some of my friends will stone me if I don't. Any plans whatsoever down the line to, yeah, you've guessed it, do a Hades thing? Or is that a thing that you've just, that's it, done?
Nah, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but I couldn't even play those songs right now. My wrist hurts so bad when I play, man. And, I'm 60 years old now. My wrist kills me. I feel like, we did everything we had to do with Hades, and there's really no sense, beating a dead horse. Mm-hmm. It was great while it lasted. I had a lot of fun with it, but it's just not something I'm interested in redoing right now.
Yeah. But I'm sure I mean, a lot of fans sort of always keep asking that question, but I mean, people, you grow, you move on, you discover new styles. And from what I can hear, I mean, the Hades stuff, I mean, way back, I remember it even in German press being called it's a weird term now, hearing it nowadays, techno thrash, like very technical thrash, I guess. And it's, and now hearing your later material, and I guess Nonfiction, just from what a buddy of mine told me, he actually owns a couple of albums. And he said, like, that was way, because I said, like, what can I sort of expect musically? And he said, like, no, it's a departure. It's way more groove orientated, more, I guess, blues tinged riffing. So you've really made a step more, and I can hear that through Vessel, Cassius, and Patriarchs, that it's, yeah, dare I say it, Sabbath, Zeppelin coming through there very strongly.
Yeah, it's funny because I really didn't love Led Zeppelin when I was in high school. And until Hades broke up, and people call us techno metal because Tommy Coombs and Jimmy Shulman and Ed Furman may be very technical players. But I didn't fall in love with Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath until after Hades broke up. So like we're talking the summer of 1990, which is also when I discovered NWA and Ice Cube and Eazy-E, or maybe that was the summer of 89, actually, after Hades broke up. And then when I started Nonfiction, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do everything the way I want. Like Hades, the guys in Hades, whether it was Scott LePage or Ed Furman or Jimmy Shulman, they really weren't into tuning down. I really wanted to tune down. Like the beginning of Night Stalker, I tuned down, and those guys didn't tune down for the live version of it. But I just love tuned down, groove-oriented music, and then that's what I did with Nonfiction. And I really feel like my musical style, whether it's Cassius King, Patriarchs in Black, or Vessel of Light, it's not that different from what I was doing with Nonfiction in 1990. It's just the perfect style for me.
So it's very groove orientated, and it's also very what I love about the material. I'm probably most familiar now just by the last few listens with the Patriarch stuff. I need to give the Cassius King stuff more listens, I think. But what I can hear, it's really and don't get this the wrong way, it's simplistic and stripped down and to the point. There's superfluous riffs, there's nothing, no stop and go repeats, unnecessary filler, nothing. It's just straight down to the core. And I think to me that's still the absolute mastery when it comes to songwriting, is less is more.
You're breaking up a little bit, but I think your assessment was spot on. What I heard, I get bored very quickly. I like 3 minute songs, three and a
Yes.
half minute
Yes.
songs. And then to contradict myself, the next Patriarchs in Black album, I have a song that's just about 8 minutes, which is I think the best song I ever wrote in my life. I'm so excited about it. But for the most part, I like short songs. Like, I grew up on old Kiss and old Aerosmith and AC/DC Highway to Hell. And you don't need long, complicated songs. I'm more interested in catchy stuff that sticks in your head.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's the problem with a lot of material you hear nowadays. It's sort of as if they just.
Got to shake my computer because you're frozen.
Am I still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
Okay. Now
It's almost like a marathon to see how many riffs we can put into 6 minutes. And it's kind of.
yeah, yeah.
I hear the song, and for the life of me, number one, I don't want to re-listen, and I can't remember it. So it's, and you also have to look at the life
it's
scenario.
funny that I know Hades will always be the most popular band I was ever in, but I'm so much more into nonfiction. That's really where my heart was, and I love Vessel of Light and Cassius King and Patriarchs in Black. Just I love my stuff. I think I've released 4, 5, 6, 7 albums in the last 8 years, and I'll have hopefully a new Patriarchs Black album out the end of this year.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's probably also largely to the. I just look at myself now. I wasn't aware of a lot of the stuff you brought out. It's only now that I'm digging deeper, and now, wow, there's this, there's that, and probably that's the case with a lot of people. Certainly, a lot of people in my friendship circles that know the old material, Hades, but now at least one of my friends has gone like, check out nonfiction. It's definitely good, and so yeah, it's probably. People have to be educated.
Yeah, and it's my own fault. I mean, I don't tour. I haven't played a show since before the coronavirus. Vessel of Light played about 10 shows when coronavirus hit, and then I haven't done anything since then. And Johnny Kelly, he lives in Texas. Jason McMaster lives in Texas. Nathan
Yes.
Opposition lives in Texas. I live in New Jersey. Jimmy Shulman lives in New York City, and it's just hard doing shows right now, which is one of the main reasons why none of my bands are that well known. But I feel like the quality of the material, if you're just interested in hearing a great CD, I feel like I've released a lot of great music in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. There's some really good material, and I'm looking forward to delving
Thank
deeper.
you.
Definitely. But
Thank
you. You basically sort of segued into my next question is what would your goals be? Say for Cassius King, would you guys entertain the option of eventually taking it over to Europe here, or doing a US tour or something?
Well, I mean, I have a great job. I can't really go on. I don't want to lose my job.
I hear you.
I've been poor for enough of times in my life. I was like the poorest person in the world from 1984 to 1994, where there were days where I couldn't afford a quarter for a bagel, and definitely don't want to lose my job. And I'm an adult now, happily married. But what we're trying to always do is get on some European festivals. That would be like the best thing we'd love to do for any of our bands.
That's logistically probably the wisest thing to do. But I hear you totally. I mean, as you grow older, different things just take over. You have to, and like you said, you're sick and tired. I've been entertaining the option of doing music myself again full time, but I just don't see it happening. There's an income coming. There's things you have to focus on, and so I hear you definitely 100%. So and I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing out just good albums. What's wrong with that? Better.
Yep. Sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Yeah. Where were we?
Just about how playing like a European festival would make the most.
Yes, of course. I mean, that would be. I mean, I just had a chat to the guys from Die Humane, Rick Hunold's new band, and they also said like we're going to go about this the clever way. There's no way we're going to be trailing through 50 dates. We're just going to do selective. And even Europe, I mean, I think, was it Anthrax recently that canceled their European tour?
I was surprised about that. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's happening over here is just as scary. I mean, I know a lot of club owners organizing shows and stuff, and they're just not in a position to afford acts. and they're complaining. But on the other hand, I understand the bands. They have to get a rental. They have to probably move gear around and stuff. I mean, a lot of the clubs have backlines, but not all of them, and that kind of stuff. So there's something weird happening. I mean, people have the money for Rammstein and Iron Maiden and Wacken and Bang Your Head and all those festivals, but somehow the support stops at the gigs, at the club gigs, you know, like the beating heart of the scene. You know, that's
and those are fun. I mean, I had so much fun. Like I said, my last European tour, I mean, you know, other than festivals, was touring with Overkill and Sabotage in 1993 with Nonfiction. And then Hades was lucky enough. We played Wacken in 2000, and then we played the Bang Your Head Festival in 2010. And we had a great time with Hades, had a great time with Nonfiction. But yeah, it is tough out there making money touring Europe for an American band right now. It's not easy.
Absolutely, I get that 100%. And even like I said, locally, it's already an issue. And because I was hoping to assist a club in recruiting acts. And the artist I wanted to get was from Switzerland, which is not halfway around the world. So, and even that was too. Right. They sort of went, "We're not going to pay that. So, can you negotiate them down?" I said, "No, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I come from a musician's point of view, and I'm not going to sort of strong arm them into dumping prices. No." So that was the end of that relationship. No, it's pointless. It's
we're not even about like any of my bands. Like, I don't need to make a profit coming there. I just need to at least break even. Like, you know, I mean, when Hades played Wacken and Bang Your Head, we didn't make money other than T-shirt sales, but you know, we didn't even care. Just cover our expenses and we're there. You know.
Yes, exactly. Nobody's got lofty expectations, you know, and even then you have to think twice. You know, it's it's kind of ridiculous. So really the thing for you guys would probably be the odd festival and then probably a cruise or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Which will become so popular, love it or hate it, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's up to the artist to do, I guess. So yes, so Reach for the Scars came out last year. What is your next focus at the moment?
Well, I mean, we're still promoting the Cassius King album, Dread the Dawn, on MDD Records, as you learned from Jason. And I am working on the next Patriarchs in Black album. Like I said, I hope to hand it in the end of June. I hope to have it out in October. I finished the guitars for like 14 or 15 songs already. And Johnny Kelly, you know, he's in so many bands. He's in, you know,
he's very busy.
Quiet Riot. Yeah, now he's got a new band. But you know, I love working with him, and Johnny's finished the drums to about 6 or 7 songs. We just released a video, a Led Zeppelin cover called Friends with Militia Vox.
I had a quick listen. Awesome.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, we're really proud of that. That's
and what a voice.
Great singer, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, she did a duet recently with Rob Halford. She's in a Judas Priest tribute band. Yeah, she's makes her living as a musician. She is a phenomenal singer.
I love how she hit those nuances, those Robert Plant nuances.
Yeah, really she crushed it. So tell your friends, you know, check out Patriarchs in Black, the Friends video and single on digital only. and then we'll have that same single come out as a 45 lathe cut vinyl single on Nomad Eel Records next month. But like I said, just working on the new Patriarchs in Black album and still promoting Cassius King.
Awesome. Great stuff. Now we'll definitely have to include all your links below the video.
Thank you.
When I put it up. So tell us about your recording process. Or how do you capture ideas? Is it still? I mean, a lot of acts still go gather everything, head down to the studio, and obviously you don't compose in the studio. Nobody's Def Leppard anymore. Yeah. But I mean, is it still a question of going down to a studio, or is it basically, do you have a home studio? Do you capture tracks by yourself and basically the internet way, or?
Yep. So I have a little upstairs in my loft. I have my 6 or 7 or 8 guitars, and I have a little Zoom recording unit that I occasionally use. I use that to figure out the BPM of my songs, the beats per minute. And unlike when the old days we used to record, like with Hades, it would be me and the drummer, or maybe even the whole band, and you just want to capture the drum tracks. Now we have complete opposite, where I go and record the whole song to a click track. I record one guitar, then another guitar, and sometimes the bass, and then I give it to either Ron Lipnicki if it's Cassius King, or Johnny Kelly if it's Patriarchs in Black. And so like literally I could be finished with an album and the rest of the band hasn't even started it yet. All the guitars are finished, maybe, except for the guitar solos. I generally don't record the guitar solos to last because I don't know where the singer wants to sing. So on the Patriarchs in Black album, I wrote the lyrics and melody to This Damn War and Sing for the Devil. But the rest of the songs, the singers co-wrote all the songs with me after I wrote the music. So it all comes from my guitars. I record the whole thing at my buddy J-Rod's studio. And then I hand those tracks along with the click track to whether it's Ron Lipnicki or Johnny Kelly, depending on the band.
That's amazing. If you think, exactly. If you think back how, enter studio, miking up, getting a scratch track, probably doing 5 run-throughs, take the best one, then start layering. And amazing. And nowadays we're talking about reamping of guitars even, where you have a clean track and you can basically, everything gets reamped. It took me a while to get my mind around that one. Am I breaking up?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. No, so it's crazy how the technology has changed. So basically everybody, there's no longer.
Yeah, and I love it because I'm able to, like, in the old days, I used to have to go, Johan, to the recording studio or the rehearsal studio and try and get inspired and write riffs. But now there'll be times where I'll be driving home from my basketball games and I'll hear a riff in my head and I'll record it on the phone. I only got my first cell phone 10 years ago. I was the last one to the party with cell phones. And I'll write a riff. Like there's a song called Pariah to Messiah on the new Cassius King album. And that opening chord sequence, the riff, I wrote literally, like I said, I was driving home from basketball and I heard in my head, bow, 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 bada, bow, 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 bada, bow, bow. I heard that riff. I recorded it on my phone. I tracked all the guitars in the month of October, and then Jason and Ron and Jimmy, they put their parts to it months later, and it came out, this July 1st. I'm sorry, it came out October 21st on MDD Records in Germany. But yeah, I love the way it's going now. It's been like really easy for me because like I'll send a dozen songs to Johnny Kelly, and if there's a couple songs he doesn't get around to, they're still sitting there. And like right now, there's a song being finished. Most of all the music I release is brand new, but there's a song right now that this singer named Kelly just recorded for a riff, and that Johnny and I recorded 2 years ago when we first started playing, and it's just being finished today. So if the singer can't think of the melody line, sometimes I'll write the lyrics and melody, but sometimes I can't think of a lyric and melody, and I got to wait for the right singer to find, something that fits for him or her.
Okay, yes, for that matter.
Listen, yeah.
So amazing, but with Johnny's experience and his activity and stuff, does he also? You send him a couple of ideas. Would he sort of go, "Oh, wow, that one I'm going to start with"? He obviously, yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah. Johnny was responsible for rearranging "I'm the Dog" which is one of my favorite songs on Patriarchs in Black, Reach the Scars. Johnny was definitely big responsible on the arrangement for that. But Johnny's got an amazing ear, particularly for a drummer, and he's very picky. I'm not used to a drummer saying, "Oh no, do this," or "You're a little off time here." I'm kind of not used to that. But
Okay.
he's great. He pushes me. I mean, he's such a professional, and he's like the nicest guy ever. He's super easy to work with. So it's great that we hooked up finally, and I still love working with Ron Lipnicki, of course, too.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they had Johnny on Talk Louder as well. Seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Yes, it's changed dramatically, but yeah, there are the pros and cons. The flip side I see is a lot of music sounding really according to the grid. You know, it's kind of a lot of stuff sounds like it doesn't have that depth anymore. You know, it's from a sound perspective and a sort of, you know what I mean? It's like I think something that was great is with the old way of capturing scratch tracks and stuff, the band had that certain push and pull. You know, those minute human mistakes that make it a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and that probably gave it an extra sort of feel to it. And that's where probably, but I mean,
yeah, I agree. I agree completely, Johan. I don't mind if there's a little tiny mistake or something that's slightly off time. To me, I remember Rob Halford once saying that Judas Priest would record demo tapes and then they go do the album. And the demo tapes always had more energy and more vibrancy and more feel.
yes.
Not that Judas Priest didn't put out tons of great albums, but yeah, there's definitely, I'm not into music being everything perfect, because if it doesn't sound like a band could really be playing it, what's the sense?
Yeah. I think I hear that mostly with the really faster stuff, the sort of thrash stuff that's been coming out, and all the more extreme kinds of music. It often sounds like really mechanical. And
yeah,
I mean, look, if you're a band like Fear Factory, then my God, it has to sound like that. You know, it has to sound really
right.
Whoa, out of this world, Terminator. Here we go. But just a lot of it. I think that putting it down to the grid and everything being fine tuned and polished to the T. And some acts, sometimes I get these advertisements from Nuclear Blast or Napalm Records, and I can't remember, I won't name names, and I don't remember them either, but it sounds unreal. Guitars that sound like there is no amp, that no natural amp in a room would sound like that. I don't know how, it sounds unnatural to me.
Yeah, and that, just like what you said about, like leaving out all the filler stuff, I record right through a head. I don't use any pedals. I'll use an effect every now and then, but for the most part, my guitar, it's just right out of the amplifier. Like there's nothing between my guitar and the amplifier except for the cord. There's no effect
Just
pedals.
straight
Nothing.
amp gain.
Almost always, yeah.
So you're a Marshall man?
No, I have nothing wrong with Marshall. I used to play Marshall JCM with nonfiction, but the last 5 years I've been using PV heads.
Okay.
Sounds great. But honestly, not to be a dick, but I feel like whatever I plug into, it kind of sounds like me. Like I got a little pig nose amplifier upstairs. Guitar sounds ripping when I play through the pig nose, and then I got this little amplifier that's this big, and I've written a bunch of music. I'll bring the little amp down to my library, and I'll play through that. It doesn't sound amazing, but it sounds really good actually, and it inspires me, and I've written a lot on that. So I really always think like the guitar sound is the guitar player, the guitar, and whatever you plug into, it's your style. It's always going to sound like, hopefully, the person playing this song.
I think that's a huge part of it. You can hand the best guitar to someone that can't play, and it won't sound. But you can hand a really cheap, dirty guitar to someone that can play, and you'll hear it. It comes through.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely. And no, it's just interesting to see with so much technology being out there at the moment. I've found also that I've just gone back to straight amp gain, keep it as natural as possible, nothing behind it, nothing in front of it, straightforward.
Yep, I agree.
Love it. And do you have a title yet for the next one?
No, not yet. Really, I mean, the short answer is no. I think I'm going to call it "Stop Smoking Cigarettes." What do you think of that?
That's a good title.
Oh, I'm so lucky I don't have that habit, Johan.
Have you had it?
Nah, I don't
Never.
drink. I don't smoke. Nah, I haven't smoked a
Wow.
joint since 19 January of '94. And my wife and I, we go to Key West twice a year. That's pretty much the only time I'll ever have a drink. I never had a love for.
Wow.
I hate the way beer tastes. Cigarette smoke makes me crazy.
just
Getting
just
high on
seeing it.
pot was fun, but I'm too old for that now, But
Yeah.
you know, I've just been straight. I like being straight.
But a healthy choice, definitely. Respect. What else can you tell us? New and on the horizon happening?
Nothing too major new except for the next Patriarchs in Black album. Like I said, I hope to have it out the end of October. It'll feature Johnny Kelly on drums and some of the same singers we've been using on the first album. A bunch of different singers, kind of just make it fun. Different bass players, different singers, and it's a blast. And I'm hoping people check out Patriarchs in Black and Cassius King and Vessel of Light. And if you want to go way back, check out The Cursed Room Full of Sinners with Bobby Blitz on
Oh
vocals.
yes, I need to check that.
You got to get that album re-released
I
someday.
need to.
It's a great album, and you're going to be surprised when you hear Blitz because he doesn't sound like this on any other album he's ever done.
Yeah, because I mean Blitz, you expect Blitz, really.
There's only a couple songs on video. If you look on YouTube, you'll find a couple songs, and they're phenomenal. Blitz sang his ass off, but I appreciate you having me, Johan.
Because we're familiar with the slower Overkill stuff. Obviously, they have their slower tracks and stuff, so that's kind of sort of what you expect. So I'm eager to check it out.
Awesome. I got to get back to work, but thank you so much for having me, Johan.
You're freezing. Yeah, you're freezing. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Dan, thank you very much. I'll be checking out all your material. Another thing, just before we go, if you have any links that you deem vital to put underneath, do send them to me.
I will. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Go well.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.